Welcome, everybody. I'm Wendie. Welcome to midweek meditation. I think it's week 48 or something like that. Approaching 50 sessions. So I am on ancestral unceded Ramaytush Ohlone land. And for those of you that like to come every week, there will be a meditation next week, but not the following week. I will be at a conference on Wednesday, April 21st. No meditation here. So let me see where that noise is coming from. And we'll mute Ina and we'll come back. Okay. So this week we talked about this last week that I think everybody that's here was there, although I can't always see who's coming in. So we started the Omer period on the second night of Passover, which is this connection between both Passover and Shavuot, two harvest festivals. Passover spiritually embodying liberation from constriction and just liberation in general, and Shavuot embodying revelation and the sense of the journey from, even though once you are liberated and free, you are not yet free in your mind. It's a continual journey of liberation. And so we're in week 2 of the Omer period. Last week, the sephirah, or the energy of the week, was Hesed, overflowing, or loving kindness, friendliness. And this week we are in the sephirah, or the energy of Gevurah. And Gevurah is typically translated as strength, or energetically the sense of having boundaries, being able to discern, and not strength from I'm powerful strength, but thoughtful strength. Sometimes thoughtful strength in terms of restraining yourself from something that you feel impulsively that you want to do. And there's also a quality of Gevurah of focusing. And especially when you hold the two sephirot together, which are on the Kabbalistic tree of life, the two-dimensional one that looks kind of in the shape of a body, they're on opposite sides. So you have Gevurah and Hesed, or Hesed and Gevurah. I'm not sure how you all are seeing this. And that sense of the balance between love, loving kindness, and strength or boundariness. The balance is created by being able to have both of them. And so this week, Gevurah is, or Gevurah, it's about using good judgment. Gevurah is also called Din, which actually translates as judgment. So there's a lot around judgment, using good judgment, taking time to uncover, explore, and understand so that we can make the best judgment in both our inner strength and our outer strength. Using good judgment also allows us to know and understand our limits and not overgive, as unbounded chesed, unbounded lovingness. We would just give and give and give. But when you balance that with Gevurah, you can know your limitations and give the right amount. It also allows us to bring strength into uncertainty. And one of the places that, as meditators doing meditation, that uncertainty of being in the silence, we can call upon or recognize our Gevurah that's necessary to sit in silence, which is not always an easy thing. The courage to stay present in challenging situations, maybe where somebody is giving us feedback that we don't want to hear. The courage to stay even if we're wanting to get attracted to something. So that can either be physically in the world or in our mind. like I'm trying to meditate, but oh, it's so interesting to get involved in these stories and these to-do lists and things like that. The strength to return to the no thingness, the spaciousness of being with our thoughts. And so for today's, actually, I wanted to say that, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I did a silent meditation retreat, and I got some awareness. I don't know, it was probably somewhere around day 3 that of a 7-day retreat, that I was distracting myself. And it's much easier to distract myself when I'm here at home than when I'm at a retreat center. But I was distracting myself because I was actually afraid of being bored. And the recognition, at least for me, of that fear of being bored. I don't want to be bored. I'm afraid of being bored. So I became aware of that in the silence, and then I could hold just a little bit longer and not allow myself to get distracted. Or when I was distracted, know that even though I didn't want to return to simply being or following my breath or whatever the instructions were, that I needed to let go of the story, because the story would come back, or the to-do list would come back, or whatever it is. So for me, I think distraction is boredom, keeping me away from, I don't want to be bored. And one of the things that we get when we meditate is figuring out, well, what is it? It does take mindfulness. It does take some thought and reflection. But trying to figure out what it is that stops us from staying there is really important. And we all have it. It's just a question of, what is it? What is it that I'm really most afraid of? These are really, how do I want to say it? This is not meditation 101. This is, so many of you have been here since the beginning. This is deeper reflection on, why is it hard to stay in the silence, or to stay with the breath, as we're going to do today, or to stay with a focus. And sometimes that comes up even when we're not looking for it, even when we're not in a mindfulness or wisdom practice. We're actually just trying to stay focused. It's like, oh, our thoughts trail off, and then we get a chance to see what's beneath them. But clearing the space of doing and being and engaging with the world allows us to be more aware of that. So if you get the email from me, you saw that I said today we're going to do a concentration practice. And there's 2 main pillars of most meditative streams. There's concentration and there's mindfulness. And they really are balance one another, because both are necessary. So concentration allows us to train the mind to stick with something over and over again, even if you're bored in my case, or even if you are distracted by something else in other cases. We just want to keep returning and returning and returning. And like anything that we practice, we get better at it the more we do it. Mindfulness allows us to notice what's arising in the mind, and also notice how things come and notice how things trail away. So we become less attached. So you can see, hopefully, why both are important. One helps us to strengthen the mind in terms of staying on track, and the other allows us to notice that the mind is continually moving and shifting. So maybe we can also let go of things that we're attached to, whether it's resentment or anger or an agitated state, whatever that is, that doesn't allow us to be, calm and at ease to respond to whatever humanity is throwing at us. And so we've done concentration meditations. I just haven't necessarily called them for you. I thought it would be nice to share that. So concentration practices that we do quite frequently are concentrating on the breath. We concentrate on the breath, breathing in and breathing out, returning your attention to the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Candle flame, we've done that a few times. Noticing a candle flame, noticing sounds. What are the sounds that I hear? Whether it's a single sound or the movement of sounds. Noticing the body is also a focusing or a concentration practice, like noticing, what am I feeling in the body, noticing different parts of the body. So you all have been doing this all along, as much as you have been showing up here and in other places where you meditate. I'm just naming it as a concentration practice and a focus practice, because that fits really well with Gevurah, which is focusing, or one of the energies of Gevurah is focusing. Also, something I'm not sure that we've done here, again, we probably have, you can focus on an image, and certainly you can focus on a word or a phrase, which we've done here. So sometimes the chant words can be something that we then focus on internally. Or, as I'm going to do today, another one of the Thich Nhat Hanh meditations, where we're given a phrase for the in-breath and we're given a phrase for the out-breath, and then we distill that down to an in-breath and an out-breath. And I'm going to invite you, as we do that meditation, if an image comes up, because some of the phrases are a little bit more evocative for an image, to also let that image be something that you concentrate on. You concentrate on whatever image it is, you concentrate on the word or the phrase, or you concentrate on your breath. All good concentration foci. I just wanted to say a little bit about what it's going to look like for those who can't remember or who weren't here, because it is a little different. So I'm going to start by, warming us up to sit, inviting us to be in our bodies, and setting, feeling our breath, and feeling ourselves in the chair, etc. And then I will say a little bit of an intention that comes from the Thich Nhat Hanh, engaged Buddhism, interspiritual Buddhism stream. And then I'm going to be doing two different kinds of bells. One is, a short bell, or I'll do the long bell. That's the invitation bell, and it'll also be the bell that will take us out of whatever section we're in. And then there'll be a shorter bell. Sorry, didn't do that right. And that is inviting us or reminding us that this is the end of this section. And so just so don't want anybody to be too shocked, there's going to be a number of bells. As always, in any meditation that I lead, wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever is happening inside of you, I invite you to not judge, but to be grateful and appreciative of whatever your experience is. This doesn't work for you, or you're off in something else, the bells are bothering you. Okay, that's whatever it is what it is. And there's no right or wrong. So please don't be judgmental of yourself, even though Gevurah can also be called deen or judgment. And then we'll sit with each one of the phrases and breath patterns. So there'll be a phrase for breathing in, a phrase for breathing out, and the shortened prompts as well. And then at the very end, I'll conclude with the bell, and we'll come back and say goodbye to one another. And as always, and I'll remind you as we get to the meditation, if your mind wanders, simply bringing it back to the breath is the easiest thing. Okay, I got stuck in a thought. I got really tripped up. Where was I? I don't even know how I got here. Okay, fine. Let me breathe in and let me breathe out. And that is enough. That is a focus meditation. And if you want to bring the phrases back in or an image back in, also good. The chant that I that seem to fit with today is a line it comes up two places in the Jewish tradition. One place that it comes up is in the Exodus story, right after the Israelites go through the sea on their way out of Egypt. Moses leads a song, and these words are in it. It's literally right after the sea has closed up on the Egyptian army. Two sentences later, this is the part of that sentence. It's Ozi v'zimrat ya vayehi li lishua. So it comes from Exodus 15, line 2. And it also is repeated in Psalm 118, line 14. And what it literally means is, Ozi, my strength, v'zimrat Yah, and the song of Yah, the song of divine beingness of God, vayehi li. Well, I have to do a little explaining here. So biblical Hebrew doesn't have the same kind of tenses that we have in modern Hebrew. Biblical Hebrew either has a verb, an action that was completed, or something that is not completed. So something that is not completed, that always gets complicated to how we translate it. So you can say it will be, or it is becoming, or it's continuing. There's all sorts of ways for it to. So it's just more simple in biblical Hebrew. It's either completed or it's not completed. So we have vayehi, which is, I'm going to translate as will be, li, my, lishua, salvation or deliverance. So Ozi v'zimrat Yah vayehi li lishua, my strength and the song of Yah will be my deliverance or my salvation. It will be what will, bring me maybe back to myself, or maybe, whatever deliverance or salvation means. That we could spend some time there too, but I'm not going to today. So that those are the words that my strength and the song of Yah. Also, like, what the heck does that mean? I don't know, but I do know it has strength in it. It has Yah in it. It has deliverance and salvation in it. It has song in it. So we'll see how it unfolds for all of you and for me, but it's a beautiful song. It's by Rabbi Shefa Gold. And so we're going to use that as an entree into this focusing breath meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh, and feeling the strength and the limitation and our desire to focus ourselves maybe just a little bit more, to just take a little bit of time to focus ourselves in the breath, in the now, and see how that supports us to find this calm, easeful place to be able to respond to the challenges of being a human. So that's my intention for all of us today. So get yourself into a comfortable place. I do want to make sure, I see things are not set up right. So I'm going to just very briefly change you to that microphone. And I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi. So hopefully that didn't mess up anybody too much, but that way we shouldn't have any glitches and you should hear good sound. Okay. You'll be able to hear me if I get too quiet. Ozi v'zimrat